Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and I know my lighting looks bad right now, and that is because a few hours ago I just lost power. I don't know what happened, but I guess some people outside are working on a pole, so I lost power and everything. I don't know when it's going to come back. I don't know when this video is going to be up, but I knew I had to review this to you guys. So I don't know when this review is going to be up. I don't know when the power is going to come back and everything, so if this video is not up, it's because I didn't have power. That's why. And when it's back up, that's when I'll have power again, which I don't know when that's going to be. The estimate time's 3 o'clock, but I'm really not sure. But I'm going to be reviewing, basically to you, this is going to be my review for Girl Meets World, Season 1, Episode 15, Girl Meets Brother. And this was by far one of the best episodes so far. I love this episode. I thought this episode was pretty adorable. I love the directions in this episode. I love the way this episode was turning out. I pretty much really loved everything about this episode. I thought this was a very well done episode, in my opinion. A lot of stuff I really enjoyed about it. A lot of alludes to Boy Meets World, like a lot of homages to that, and I thought that was very well done. But let's get to the basic premise of this episode. So we see right in the beginning that I guess Maya and Riley do this every year. They try to be cheerleaders, and it's another year where they're not going to be cheerleaders. So they're on the subway, they're talking and everything, and Riley's kind of upset because her curfew is set for 7 o'clock, and Maya tells her to go till 7 minutes, so 7:07, and that's what they end up doing. They come home, and Auggie is arguing, and I thought that was a good way to start the episode. I also love it they were making fun of Maya's pale legs. Like, that was so funny. And, I honestly think that was something that Sabrina Carpenter, like, sort of wrote in there, because I feel like Sabrina Carpenter would do something like that. Like, she would just make fun of herself, because Sabrina Carpenter seems like the kind of girl that would make fun of herself, and if that's true, I think that definitely is very good. I know they improv some stuff in the show, so if that was improv, I think that definitely was very well done. So, Auggie is then arguing with Corey and Topanga, basically because they want to go out for their anniversary for a night out of town, because it's their anniversary and everything. And Corey and Topanga, oh my god, I will always love the Corey and Topanga romance. They will always be one of my favorite ships of all time, and you guys can see why from this episode. You guys can see why. But Auggie is talking about how he wants a babysitter, and they can't really find one, and Riley comes back, and Corey and Topanga are, like, laughing hysterically at her, because it's only 7:07, and I love that they're like to Maya, well, you couldn't have made it, like, 7:30 or something, because Riley wanted to be rebellious and demolition, and they're laughing hysterically, because it was only a 7-minute difference. And what I love about Riley is that she tries to be rebellious, but it never works, because she's so, like, prissy and everything, and I find that hilarious about Riley, and I love the fact that Maya walks out, and she just like, oh, here's your pillow, and they're like, oh, that's a good idea, so I thought that was really funny. So, Riley's talking to them, we go to the intro, and then we come back, and Riley's talking to Corey and Topanga about how she wants a later curfew. She wants it to be she wants to be 10 o'clock, but they don't think she's ready for that. They think her new curfew is 8 o'clock. Her new curfew is 8 o'clock, basically. And, she thinks that's fine, because it's an hour difference. And basically what ends up happening is Corey and Topanga are talking about their anniversary and everything. And, Auggie comes up with the idea of having Riley watch him, and they think that's a great idea. And Riley thinks this is a good idea as well, because she can be able to prove to them that she can be responsible. Honestly, this episode should have been called Girl Meets Responsible, because she really wants to be the whole thing was that she wanted to be responsible and everything. And I love the Corey and Topanga, the thing with the egg. I thought that was really funny. They give her an egg and basically teach her. I'm sure you guys have seen this many times if you guys babysit. I don't babysit, but I've never babysat anyone, but if you guys ever babysit someone, the parents give you an egg and teach you how to treat it and everything. So I thought that was definitely very funny, when she was talking about the egg and named Amanda. I thought that was definitely very funny. And Corey and Topanga, they go for their night out, and Riley is planning on watching Auggie. However, as expected, she ends up bringing Maya along, which honestly is not a surprise to me, considering how immature Riley can sometimes be. Like, Riley thinks she's so mature, but she's really not. She's very immature. She's not very well. She doesn't think things out very well. You know, she's not very smart or anything like that. So, I'm honestly not surprised that she, asked Maya to come over. They end up watching, like, the season finale of this TV show. I feel your pain. I would have probably done the same thing, honestly. You guys, but that's because I make these reviews for you guys. But they're watching a TV show, and basically, Auggie really wants Riley to come see his room. There's something in his room, and Riley's like, oh, I'll get to it and everything. And Auggie starts to get really upset. He ends up turning the TV off for them, and tells them we're not watching the show and everything. And I thought that was definitely very funny. And then we see Corey and Topanga trying to go on their first date. They were planning on going to a dinner. I believe it was a dinner, a horse and carriage, and then a play. And the subway's down, so they have to stay in the subway, basically, and they're stuck there. And what I loved about seeing this was we saw so many flashbacks to Corey and Topanga, and this really reminded us how great of a couple they really were. We've seen moments of Corey and Topanga on this show, but this is probably the most we've seen of getting that, cute, funny romance of Corey and Topanga back. Corey even has a great line where he's like, he's like, we're weird. I think that's hilarious because they really are a weird couple, but that's why they're so funny to watch, and that's why I love them so much. And Corey and Topanga, I mean, you just gotta love them. You have to. So, Auggie ends up taking the remote from Riley. He plans on throwing it out the window. And then Corey and Topanga are reminiscing about when they see this couple kissing. And Topanga remembers their first kiss. And when we saw that flashback, I'm like, oh my god, I remember this. And it's the flashback when Topanga shoved Corey against the locker. Of course, that was definitely very funny. I'm happy that we saw that because, of course, that's when these two first connected. So we need to see that. And then, of course, Corey remembers when Topanga proposed to him at graduation. He said yes. And then, basically, they start to remember what's going on and everything. And then Corey sees a horse, basically. He sees a horse and he sees a child holding a horse, and he uses that as a horse and carriage. I just thought it was great what he was trying to do. Great. He's a great husband to Topanga. But Topanga starts to miss the kids. Obviously, she's a mother. That really does not surprise me. She starts to miss the kids. They decide to go spy on them. And Riley, Maya, they see that they're arguing over the remotes. And Topanga's like, should we just jump in right now? But Corey's like, no, let's see how they handle this. So, at first, they're not handling it very well at all. Auggie goes to his room. He's really upset and everything. Riley just cares about the show at this point. But I really like what Maya does. Maya tells Riley, you know what? We have this little thing called the internet. You could have just used, like, Celebrity Dirty Laundry or something. But basically, she tells Riley that Auggie really cared about her. And that she should have thought about him. And then Farkle comes out of nowhere from the window. And that was hilarious when Farkle just came out of nowhere. By the way, there's no Lucas in this episode, which was fine. Farkle just comes out of nowhere from the window, basically, and he's like, I guess I'm not, and I love his line, he's like, I guess I'm not involved in the story when we're not at, I guess I'm not involved in the story when we're not at school. I thought that was really funny. And Riley's talking about how she should have been there for Auggie, and Farkle thinks she's talking about him. Oh my god, that's classic Farkle. This is the Farkle we need to see. I like seeing Farkle being portrayed as a villain, but I like seeing Farkle more as the guy who likes to romance Riley and Maya. I think that's hilarious. I think he fits well with their group, and I don't really like seeing the side of Farkle we saw last week. I like seeing Farkle more this way. I thought this was good Farkle, and I like this side of Farkle. So Riley decides that she wants to help Auggie. She realizes that he had something there. Oh, also, Auggie sees that Topanga and Corey are spying on Riley, so I thought that was really funny. August Maturo on this episode just killed it. This was by far his best performance on the show. But Riley takes Auggie to go see his room. I thought this was adorable what ends up happening. They see that basically, also I love the line where Farkle's like to Maya, well, we're alone now. And Maya's like, oh yeah, we are, because she leaves Farkle. And they go to Augie's room, and we see that they have set up exactly what Auggie wanted. He wanted to set up like this pirate ship thing, and they have set the whole thing up for him. And Augie's, like, having the time of his life, and it's really great, because it was the worst night of his life, now it's the best night of his life, and they really turn it around for him. And you see Corey and Topanga watching them and everything, and Topanga ends up giving Farkle a kiss on the cheek, and Farkle passes out because of this, which I thought was hilarious. I mean, that's classic Farkle right there. I thought that was great, that we saw that. I love seeing that. I thought that was definitely very funny. So, that ends up happening, and basically we see that we basically see that they end up having a nice night. And then we go to the morning after, it's the, basically the last scene, post-credit scene, whatever you want to call it. But we see that they are all eating breakfast. Corey's made them breakfast, and Riley's kind of telling a story about their family. Oh, I forgot to put the funniest part, one of the funniest quotes of the episode. When Auggie saw Corey and Topanga, he's basically like to them, okay, Corey's like, I want, Riley can handle this and everything. And Auggie said, okay, but if all fails, then I want you to make me a brother. And Topanga's like, well, let's see what Riley can do. And Corey's like, well, brother either way. I thought that was great. I love Corey's bonding with Auggie. I'm always going to love that. I think that's hilarious. And one of the best parts of the show is Corey's bonding with Auggie. I love that. But basically, Corey ends up making them breakfast, and Riley's telling a story of their family. They all get grossed out and decide to go out for pancakes. And I thought that was a good way to end the episode. A really nice episode about the importance of family and the importance of being, a sibling and the importance of caring about your sibling. Just a really cute episode overall. I think this was probably one of my favorite episodes because one thing this episode did very well was blend the elements of comedy and drama. It knew when to be funny, it knew when to be serious. It wasn't too overly funny. Looking back, last week was kind of overly funny. This week's was not too overly serious. It had enough in there. I love the cameo of Farkle. I thought that was great. Overall, this was probably one of the best episodes of the season so far. I don't know if I'd say it was the best, but it was definitely one of the funniest. And when I look back on the season, this is going to be one of the ones that I absolutely loved. And I thought this was, overall, just a great episode. However, the best episode of the season is probably going to be next week's, because Shaun's coming back. Shaun's coming back next week. It's the Christmas episode. I am so hyped for Shaun to come back. I've been waiting for this episode for so long, and getting Shaun back is going to be great. I believe Angela's coming back as well. Don't call me if don't. Corey's parents are coming back. Alan and Amy are coming back. It's going to feel like Boy Meets World next week. That's how good next week's episode is going to be. It's going to feel like Boy Meets World. All we need is Eric and Jack and Rachel and who else do we need? Eric, Jack, Rachel. I'm trying to think of who else we need from Boy Meets World. Mr. Feeney, even though he's probably dead. But if we get that whole group back, this show is going to turn to Boy Meets World, which I'm really looking forward to next week. It's going to be great to see what's happening with Shaun. I know we're going to see Corey's younger brother again. Joseph, I think his name is. I think his name is Joseph. We're going to see him all grown up, and apparently Maya's going to have, like, a little crush on him, so that's going to be funny to see. I'm definitely looking forward to next week's episode. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the previews look great. I can't wait to see what's been going on with Shaun, definitely. Apparently, I think I heard that he's, like, chasing Angela or something. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week, definitely. I think it's going to be very, very good. I am definitely very hyped for Girl Meets Home for the holidays. I think it's probably going to be the best episode of the season. And let me know what you guys thought of this episode overall, guys. Thought this was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. I thought that the acting was great, especially from August Maturo. Really, killing it. This kid is killing it. Like, he's awesome in this role. Corey and Topanga, it was great to see some great moments between them. I'm always gonna love their moments together. They just had so many great moments in this episode. Riley was great as well. I like that we actually didn't see Lucas, because a lot of times Lucas doesn't really have a lot to do in this episode. He didn't need to be in it. The random Farkle cameo was great. What did you think of the flashbacks with Boy Meets World? I thought that was great. Are you looking forward to next week's episode? I know a lot of us are. But that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for either tonight's episode of The Missing or for another movie review. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.